Hello, everybody. We're going to talk about a little something that is a little spooky. Well, to some it isn't. And probably it's just because I want to talk about Ghostbusters, and I really didn't get a chance to back in the day. So we're about to go ahead and talk about Ghostbusters. Give me a minute. Now, look, folks. Now, you think I didn't like Ghostbusters because, like, some people really did think I didn't like Ghostbusters because it had all women in it. Do you even know? Do you even know who the? For most of you that did think that, do you even know who the fuck I am? No. And I mean that for the people who actually watch, the people who actually assume that, guys. I'm Bugsy fucking Curl. The one of my favorite series has like chicks. This has these freaking chicks who save their world on a constant basis to the point where I was like, you know what? I want to make a freaking harem series about that because I want to see what would happen if you actually put some dude in the equation of characters that always freaking fight over shares and shit. Let's see what happens with that. And I've seen girl Ghostbusters before. I've seen Janine was a girl Ghostbuster. Kylie was a Kylie from the Extreme Ghostbusters was a girl Ghostbuster, and I had no problem with that. See, the real problem with the female Ghostbusters is that it wasn't funny. You have a bunch of funny people, but you don't have them do anything funny. It's just we have Paul Fig reshooting some of these Ghostbuster scenes purely done out of fucking spite because people just didn't like it. I it was the fact that they were women. It was the fact that these people that you know what really truly generally pissed me off that some people don't even understand or overlook because we're just dudes constantly being angry about this one thing. No, because I found out something about the Ghostbusters movie that would probably turn your head. The director, the first things first. They did this movie after Harold. They announced this movie after Harold Ramis is dead. Okay, after Harold Ramis died, after the guy who played Egon fucking died. His corpse wasn't even. His corpse wasn't even. His corpse wasn't even cold yet. That's the whole thing. Number two, for any journalist who thinks I'm just bitching to be bitching, fuck you. Go make more traffic. Go make more traffic to stupid articles you know nothing about. Go fucking do that. Let an actual person that actually likes movies and doesn't give a two, doesn't give a fuck about gender to the point where I'm just like, hey, okay, let me put it down for you so so you can understand. I didn't like it because you had funny shit. You had funny women not doing anything funny. It was like half of the scenes I saw were just you guys doing it as play because women can't be Ghostbusters. I'm like, no. Some people were mad about that, but I was more mad about the fact that it was either the executive or the person that was in the head of the project. Because originally the Ghostbusters movie, the Ghostbusters reboot we would have known now was actually going to be a passing of the torch. It was going to be a passing of the torch movie because freaking it was going to have Bill Murray, it was going to have Dan Aykroyd, it was going to have it was going to have it's going to have Ernie Hudson, and they were going to pass the torch to a new team of Ghostbusters. It was basically probably going to be more like Extreme Ghostbusters. But the studio had other plans that day. They said to themselves, we don't want this. We want a reboot. We don't want a sequel. they concocted a plan. They got Paul Feig. They got Paul Feig as their new director. Didn't even tell the old director what they were. Didn't even tell the old director who helped direct the Ghostbusters 1 and 2. Didn't even tell him that he was fired. They just kind of subtly did it, swept it under the rug. And you know, I hate Sony because of that. I hate that part of Sony. I don't hate the I don't hate the I don't hate the part of Sony that helps you with that makes the games. No, I hate their movie division, and I don't mean Sony Animation because honestly, I don't hate Sony Animation. People who do are just they got their own demons to fight there. But when it came to that, that was a kind of a dick move on their part. That was a big old dick move. And the fact of the matter is, it's a Ghostbusters movie, and it probably made a lot of little girls happy, and that's great. That's fine. I don't care on that aspect. If a little girl liked that movie, I'm not gonna bitch and moan about it. But what I am mad at is the fact that the movie should have appealed to not only girls who wanted to be who imagined themselves to be Ghostbusters, but it should appeal to both. It should appeal to both crowds instead of just trying to pander to one. You can do both. The cartoon did both. Whenever Janine was a Ghostbuster, like the whole thing, I'm watching it. It's like the girls. I'm like, I don't. Why is that the joke? Shouldn't they want to? Shouldn't you try to develop their characters and then here they're common tropes. It's just so dumb. It should have been more. Y'all should have got Paul Straczynski on this. Y'all could have got Paul Straczynski on this. The guy who wrote the freaking cartoon. He would have been on that shit. I keep hearing that Paul Vick wants to do another. You bet, boy, you bet not. If you're going to get Paul Straczynski on that shit, because you don't know how to write comedy. You basically made Bridesmaids the freaking Ghostbusters sequel. Oh man, I'm just, like y'all think it's just because I'm a dude. No, trust me. Now, the internet may hate it for stupid people may hate it just because there's women Ghostbusters, but there always were women Ghostbusters and various other Ghostbusters media. It doesn't fucking matter. That's the thing. That's the thing y'all don't fucking seem to understand. The thing I'm mad at is that it wasn't funny for a reboot that's supposed to be a Ghostbusters thing. The game got it right more than you did. It gave us things we already know about characters we've grown up with, loved, and watched the cartoons where their personalities were more fleshed out and they did more things with it. And then you just gave us a shit ton of a shit ton of fucking tropes in the other one. I don't like Ghostbusters. The Ghostbusters reboot is so fucking bland. These characters were bland, lifeless, damn near. It wasn't even funny, or even Ghostbusters played with the spooky element too, because it could get spooky. Wasn't even that. But people look at me and the angry video game nerd is just people just we're just old and we don't go with the times and shit. I'm like, no, y'all didn't even try. Y'all just wanted to pander to the audience. And the thing was, the people who were mad at the movie and how I just was like about the movie and just didn't feel any which way about it other than blind fucking rage because you announced this movie before during her during after Harold Ramis had died, not a day after it. Then I find out this shit about fucking they kicked out the other director, And then when I actually have the balls to go watch it, I'm watching it and it's just a load of shit. Not even funny shit, not even laughably, enjoyably bad shit that can be funny. It's just a man who was mad that a bunch of people didn't like his movie. So certain lines that he reshot were made out of spite. Literal spite and vitriol. But let's be real. That one the only thing I actually kind of laughed at was the Bill Murray thing because he was kind of like their Walter Peck. I'm just kind of I'm just kind of mad that they kind of dispatched him that quickly. He could have been they could have used him for a lot. They could have used him for a lot more than what they had. Like, oh yeah, Ghost kills him. Boop. the problem with the problem, the real true problem with the Ghostbusters movie. It's not the women. It's not the women that were the Ghostbusters. You got people. You got women from SNL that are pretty funny on their own. But if you got a writer who is just, you got writers that are just doing, that are just making, internet reaction jokes to how the movie was received trailer wise. It's not really funny. It's just dumb. The only thing I actually liked was the fact that they got they had Ernie Hudson and I even think Dan Aykroyd making a cameo and all this other shit. And you had Bill Murray in there too. That was like the only thing I actually found enjoyable about the movie. Other than that, it just coasts on the fact that you watched the original Ghostbusters, you watched the cartoon, you read the comic books, you played the game. Oh, then we got you this. It's not the Ghostbusters 3 you wanted, but we just said, fuck it. We're just gonna we're just gonna make this all about gender politics and forget the fact that it could be absolutely funny and absolutely enjoyable. Let's take the joy, let's take the fun, let's just pander to one side of the audience and alienate another. I like the IDW Ghostbusters comics, even though I have a very seething hatred towards IDW, because those comic books, like the Ghostbusters Get Real, that felt more like a 3 or Ghostbusters 4 than that freaking reboot. And even there's a Ghostbusters crossover book where they have all the Ghostbusters from all different versions together fighting one common enemy. Even the reboot Ghostbusters come on in on this, even though some of us don't like them. And they were done well, and it proved to me, with beyond a shadow of a doubt, that if the writing was good, if the writing wasn't truly just made out of spite, just to spite the hardcore Ghostbuster fans, we could have had something. We could have had something greater than what we got. And all I can say is, well, when something strange, it ain't no good. There's something strange in your neighborhood. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. And there was gonna be a Ghostbuster project I was gonna do a few Halloweens ago, and I was starting to make it last Halloween, but certain things happened that year, and I just didn't get around to it all the way. But I should probably tell you the story of what would have happened. Basically, since I like doing the whole multiverse thing, it was actually gonna have like the original Ghostbusters because I really did have a lot of hate and vitriol for freaking female Ghostbusters before I found out the actual truth. and that was just reaction. That was just me being reactionary, and then I calmed down for a bit. And I'm like, not really watching. It's like it's not funny. So I thought, oh, you know what? I'm gonna freaking have the regular Ghostbusters and the Extreme Ghostbusters together, and my Ghostbusters, the Empire City Ghostbusters. And it's gonna be just a gigantic thing where where all the Ghostbusters team, and it was kind of gonna be a backdoor pilot for something I was planning anyway. But they would have actually took on freaking. They would have taken on Vigo. They would have taken on Vigo, which somehow he's gotten even stronger. And the Empire City Ghostbusters would have had to deal with the enemy that they've dealt with that you would have probably seen for the first time, called the called the called the what was he called? The go the Ghost Breaker, which is a guy who controls other spirits to do his bidding. Because it was about to show that not all ghosts are bad. Sometimes when they die, they wanna still live. They just can't pass on, and they just kind of chill. That's why Slimer is where he is. He doesn't want to pass on. He still wants to do things. And Slimer was gonna be toned down, so I wasn't gonna do like the whole Slimer show. Like, oh my God, we love Slimer. Like the character, like even it would have been like how it is in the cartoon. They're cool with Slimer, but they're not gonna be like, oh Slimer, whoa whoa whoa, because it was the Ghostbusters and Slimer show, guys, and I hated that version of the cartoon so fucking much. You don't have no idea how much I hated it. But that's a story for another day. All that show was like all the Ghostbusters just circling around and just giving Slimer the old whoa, whoa, yeah, Slimer, yeah. Just all of those just like that. But and they would have dealt with each other. Davis and Ray Davis and Vankman would have fought with each other. Davis being one of my characters. Fighting fighting with Hector and fighting fighting with Hector and fighting with Hector and Zan, fighting with Hector and Zan and stuff. It would just been cool. And we'd have had the Extreme Ghostbusters in there. There would have been like a love triangle, a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of jokes about all their series combined together, and a few jokes about the Ghostbusters and the Ghostbusters in Slimer and the Ghostbusters show, which even the Ghostbusters from the movie even comment on that, and they go like, "We the network, uh, the people." The people on top wanted that. They didn't want any of our stories that happened. They just wanted Slimer because he was marketable. And Peter would have been like, "We don't hate the little slime ball for that. We don't, because it wasn't his fault. Just he was the more marketable." You know, a whole bunch of stuff would have happened, man. It would have been great. But I never got around to it. Also, there was gonna be also there's actually even gonna be a there's actually gonna be a few of the other like story the few of the other like stories I was gonna do and probably still do with the Professor What series I got going on was gonna be the professor meets the doctor, but they also fucking meet the mask. Like they meet Stanley Itkiss the mask, and I'm not talking about the I'm not talking about the comic version of the mask. I'm talking like the cartoon and movie one version of the mask. because that kind of goes with that. Like the doctor actually finds out yes there is magic in certain worlds because his TARDIS gets pulled in because the professor's TARDIS kind of drawed his TARDIS in, and he goes like, yeah, the professor goes, yeah, man, in your universe there isn't magic, but in the multiverse that I go through, there is magic and there are magical things. I know that's hard for you to get, Doctor, but it is true. And then they meet the mask and just hilarity and a lot of jokes about both the doctor, the professor, and their premise, and the fact that they got to deal with like Stanley It Kiss the Mask as they had to deal with him and also had to fight Walter, which think I think there was gonna be some Daleks in there. Like the Cybermen were trying to convert Walter into like this gigantic Cyberman, and he was like, Walter just does it because he's like, he's basically, he's strong and shit, and pain doesn't bother him. So him being a Cyberman wouldn't be so bad and out of character. He would have just done it because it's just something new for him to do. Again, Walter in the but Walter in the comic book, because I would have added him anyway, or the or the cartoon version of him. But I think I just add the comic book version with him. I just merged part of the comic and part of the cartoon together, and basically he becomes a Cyberman, and a whole bunch of other shit would have happened. Like, what was that one dude that had the shadows in the cartoon? He would have came back, and there would be a whole bunch of shit. I forget that whole entire script. I had it somewhere, but I seem to have lost it. But it's gonna be truly weird, and the doctor was actually gonna, and it was actually gonna deal with like the, it was actually gonna deal with like the uh, the 11th Doctor putting on the mask, and it's gonna just be this scene of like the Matt Smith Doctor putting on the mask and doing all the things he usually stops himself from doing, and he's gonna be a little bit more goofier too. Like the Professor and Stanley has to stop him, and I don't know. The mask starts sucking. If I remember correctly, the mask actually starts sucking on the Doctor's regenerative energy, which makes the mask even stronger. But it does. I was gonna put like an entity inside the mask because of the Doctor's regenerative energy, and because the mask has always switched hands with a lot of different people, and I would have referenced the mask, the Joker, and the mask. Don't ask me why. I don't even know where I was going with that one. But basically, it would have ended with both the Professor and Doctor going back to their TARDISes and going like, "This was a." The Doctor would have been like, "This was a very weird adventure." Oh, and the current version of the Professor in in his timeline would have been like, "Yeah, yeah, this was weird, but I gotta admit, it was pretty fun too." So yeah, I don't know. I just started talking about projects I would have done. Oh yeah, and my Ghostbusters team would have actually dealt with few of the known few of the known movie monsters. Not the old not the old Universal movie monsters, but like Freddy, Jason, Mike Myers, Michael My you know, just a lot of shit they would have dealt with. It would have been a good freaking it would have been a good freaking series. because they don't only deal with ghosts, they deal with a lot of other like monsters and shit. And Davis was the leader. Hector Hector would have been like Hector would have been the Egon, and Zen would have been like Ray. And later on, they would have found another dude that would have been there, kind of like their Winston. A whole bunch of stuff that was actually gonna happen that might still happen. But until that, but until later. I mean, but eh. But for now, since I'm still working on other things, mm, I'll just keep it like this. I'll just keep it like this, everybody. Some of these projects still can happen, but I don't know. And again, the Ghostbusters thing, you know how I feel about it now. No, and people, don't you ever think that it's anything different than that. And if anybody really thinks it's any different than that, I don't know what to say to you, man. I don't know what to say to you. I just can't convince you that I can't convince you and make you believe I can't convince you that I didn't hate it, that I didn't hate. I can't convince you that I hate. Like I said, I hated Ghostbusters for the actual reason I hated the new Ghostbusters, not because they were all women. Not every dude, not every dude subscribes to that fucking way of thinking. It's always the stuff behind it that I'm always mad at. And then they were gonna make an all dudes Ghostbusters after that. Now tell me how that would have worked. It's like, we only heard about it, and I guess it fell through because everybody thought that was stupid. The other movie was already stupid, but now they're gonna make it all dudes Ghostbusters. Like it evens it out. We prove that we're better, and I'm like, oh god, leave Ghostbusters alone. Let it just die in peace. Let just let just die and just be fondly remembered for the cartoon and the two movies and the comics. Just let it go in peace. Let's stop hooking life support to it and let it just go in peace. Anyways, that's about it for me, guys. I'll see you later. And remember, kids, if there's something strange in your neighborhood, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! Do 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 do. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. And also, busting makes me feel good. It don't matter. Again, and I gotta say this. Gender doesn't matter to me. If you can actually make a good fucking actual movie, that's what I care about. Okay? Okay? If you can make a good movie, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, well, the ladies in the movie was the thing. I'm like, no, the fact of the matter is, everything behind the scenes was the problem. Peace. And, like I said, folks, Teen Titans goaded to us, and like how probably Thundercats War is gonna do to us as well. They're banking on your outrage. Think about that for a minute. The show that you don't really like a movie is just don't do anything at all. Go about your business and do it. And do your other do. Go about your business and just do the shit you supposed to. Do the shit you supposed to do, rather than the shit that everybody expects. Peace. Bugsy, Bugsy, out.